Welcome to episode 91 of Enhancing the Human Experience podcast. On today's episode, I was really fortunate to be able to sit down with my good friend, Sabrina Vaillancourt, and have her share her experience around her new venture, which I'm calling a labor of love. I think you're going to really enjoy this episode. I know that I enjoyed hearing her share her experience and talk about bringing this idea into the world and introducing it. And the thing about it is that I wanted her to come on the show for is that this venture that she's doing really hits on so many points of the human experience. You know, not only is she doing good in the world and also inspiring other people, but she's also helping non-human beings. And you'll kind of get the idea about that, what I mean by that, as you listen to her interview here. But I was super thrilled to have her on, and I know you're going to enjoy this episode. Before we get into the episode, just remember, if you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, you can do that on any of your favorite podcast apps. And also you can find these podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/gmarkphillips. All right, without further ado, let's get into the interview and hear what Sabrina has to say. Sabrina, thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me come by.
You're welcome. When I saw that you're doing your new venture, which I totally want to hear all about it, I was thrilled because I think it is like a perfect expression of who you are and what you love. So tell us what you're doing.
Okay, so I started with LR Squared. It's an unincorporated nonprofit, and I made sure it was an unincorporated nonprofit because there was a lot more that went into going into a 503c nonprofit where you actually get the opportunity to do a tax write-off from any charitable donations you receive. You have to have 3 people on a board. It costs money. So, you know, I just went with the unincorporated nonprofit. All I did was send in a piece of paperwork and they approved it. No money involved, and it fit what I was trying to do. So I started LR Squared back in August of this year after I had lost my dog, Riley. And over the years, I've had, luckily, the opportunity from our mutual friend, Becky. She's a photographer. So she took the Furever moments that I had over the years. And a lot of people don't have the opportunity to afford that. And luckily, I had a friend who did it out of her love for me for free. So, you know, going into this, after I had lost my dog, I was looking at my pictures and I'm like, wow, this is all I really have left. I mean, you have memories in your heart, but honestly, those memories do fade. You forget what they look like. I've had loss in my past, and I know what it's like to lose someone. And for me, healing and being able to look back at those memories, it helps. It helps a lot. So going into LR Squared, I came up with the idea that I wanted to make an affordable arrangement for someone to get that same opportunity. So basically what it is, it's a half an hour session. I mean, obviously it can be extended, but it's $50 a session. And I go out with you and your spouse, your family, and you obviously have to have your pet there.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. They don't have to have fur, but whatever you connect to, whatever has a significant meaning in your life for an animal, bring them along and I'll take a Furever moment for you. And then what I do with that money, that $50, is I save it until I'm reaching $1,500, and then I'm going to donate it to a local animal rescue.
I saw that, and I want to talk about your first choice of your animal rescue because I know that's probably a tough decision.
Yeah, it is, especially because right now I am volunteering at the West Valley Humane Society, and that's where I'm going, and it's been slow so far. I mean, I'm just starting up, but that's where I've been going and practicing and taking pictures of the dogs there while they wait for their Furever home, and just to get a better quality photo of them to where you do see the beauty in an animal shelter pound puppy. I mean, a lot of people think of dogs that are just old and miserable. You know, they've got a lot of love to get.
There's all ranges there, isn't there? I think sometimes people they can't take care of their dog anymore, and it's a super awesome dog, and it's just unfortunate and sad. It's not always just the dogs that are like undesirable, is it?
No, it's not at all. And, you know, there's a lot of dogs that go missing and their owners just don't go looking for them. There's a lot of, I mean, just like people, there's a lot of unfit pet parents. Not everyone holds the same value to a dog that they do for a child. And I understand everyone's different, but it's definitely a lifelong commitment to take these dogs in. But there's so many dogs in there that are purebred. They know sit, shake. They're wonderful dogs. And it really is mind-boggling to see, why are you even here? How could someone not want you in their home?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Even like you said with kids too, it's totally, it seems like the owner's issue, right? Because the dog is just like this innocent.
Well, they never asked to be adopted by this person in the first place. And a lot of people get ahead of the game and they get a puppy, and then that puppy becomes older and there's vet bills, and not every dog responds well to even life changes. People have children, people travel, and the dog becomes a burden, or the cat. I mean, the West Valley Humane Society takes in any animal. So they even have ducks or chickens, or they had a pig once. So it's like, it doesn't just stem from just a dog. It's so much more than that. It's just pets in general.
Yeah. So you're practicing some on those pets and your own pets.
Yeah. So I've been practicing. I mean, I always take pictures of my dogs all the time. But working with a dog that sometimes doesn't know sit, you have to get creative. You have to, right now before this shoot that I'm going on at 4, I have a squeaky toy in my pocket.
In case you need to pull it out.
In case that you need to be able to get the dog's attention. I mean, last weekend I had Becky take pictures of me and my dogs, and that was crazy.
Well, because you have a new addition too within the last, 2 weeks?
Yes, I got him 2 weeks ago after I lost another dog, Layla. She was 14.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard, but not everyone gets 14 years out of a dog. I'm extremely lucky, and even though I'm still sad and crushed by it, I see the value in the dogs at the Humane Society. And there was a dog there who was there for about a month and a half. He got adopted and then returned because he didn't work out. And I'm happy because he is perfect. He's just absolutely,
you don't see
he's a dream.
What those people...
No accidents in the house. We go for walks off leash. He's nice to my other dogs. He just follows me and stares at me all day.
He's in love with you.
He's in love with me.
That's so
I tease my boyfriend. I'm like, why aren't you this excited to see me every day?
Look how this dog looks at me, right?
Yeah. So he's just wonderful.
So he integrated in.
He integrated totally perfect. So I took our 2 dogs, Remy and Roxy, to go meet him before, because it was said that he was picky about his dog friends. He didn't care about them at all. There hasn't been one fight. It's mind-boggling. He's 10 years older, so he is older, but he's just wonderful.
Yeah. I saw a picture of him. And so talk about the photo shooting itself. So did you own a nice camera, or were you a photographer hobby, or what's the story?
No, not at all. I mean, I've always loved the pictures that Becky has taken. She's been a big inspiration to me, and she's taken me under her wing and even helped me with my camera that I bought. I did buy a Canon because I want to give the best quality photos to people. I mean, anyone can take a picture with their phone, but if you get a good quality photo that you can hang on your wall, it's like when they're gone, you get to see them every day still.
Right. And those Canons, they are an investment, right? I mean, because they take super good.
Yes,
what'd you get?
They are. I got the EOS, I think, Mark 5.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice camera.
It sounds like it.
And I thought about getting one of the lower end models because they were more inexpensive, but then I'm thinking, I'm eventually going to outgrow that. I'm just going to make the investment.
Yeah, it's like any technology. You might as well just get what you're going to want, because you're using it all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. So this camera is amazing.
That's
absolutely
awesome.
Amazing. And I've been practicing. I even went over to Becky and I said, well, you've taken so many photos of me.
Well,
let me take pictures of you and your family. Yeah, she's great. She's great.
So you've been taking some of them and their dogs and their animals.
Yep. Pretty much. And I've had a lot of support through some of my friends. My friend Tara, she's the one who really rooted me on from the get-go. I even wanted to stop because I felt really discouraged.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, when you start something that is so close to home, that you believe in so much, and it doesn't take off soaring like you think it would, it's hard not to take it personally.
It is. It's interesting thing. But I see this as being such a labor of love for you.
It is.
And I think it's like super awesome. I can't imagine how, I think people are just so busy and so consumed with their own lives. It's like when you do something, it's like a little blip on the radar, then they're like back to the...
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's made me appreciate local companies more. And I have a friend who's doing a pour over acrylic painting company.
That.
Yeah. And I'm like, why am I not supporting my local community?
Great.
It makes you really, it makes you really want to get more involved. And it's like, if I show that I care about other people, maybe that'll go on to the next person. So it's been a big learning lesson for me in many aspects, not just photography and how to take a good picture or how to edit. It's been really good to ground me.
Yeah. You're seeing, have you ever done anything like this before?
Oh, no, definitely not. I mean, I've been involved in nonprofits before, but I was just, I didn't even know where to start. I got ahead of my britches and I was like, I'm going to start a nonprofit. And I'm like, wow, you need 3 people on a board. I mean, this is my own thing, so it's not like I wanted to have 3 people. And
right. It just gets so much more complex, and it's like, this is way more than you want to bite off. And that behind the scenes stuff, setting up all that stuff, is a whole other ball of wax,
beast,
right?
Yes, yeah.
In addition to all of your website stuff and your social media.
I learned a lot. I'm really grateful for the experience, and it also made me, my friend Tara, who was like, why are you trying to stop? Don't stop. This is something you believe in.
You were going to scrap it. How far in? How many? Months?
This is something that's really close to home. I mean, this is named after my 3 dogs, Layla, Roxy, and Riley. Anyone who knows me knows that my dogs are my life. Mm-hmm. They are. They've been through breakups, the loss of my mother, everything. They are they're just... I can't even put it into words.
I know, and that's why I think it is a super.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with this concept in business. It's like within people, there's like these disparate ideas. Like one of them, you love for animals, and you love to help other animals, and you love your own animals.
Yes.
Plus, you're adding photography, and it's like we take these 2 ideas that are unique to each of us and marry them together, and they become like this idea baby that is unique. And I totally see this as your idea baby.
Oh, this is definitely an idea baby, and like it really, the light bulb did go off over my head one day. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just go after it, but. Going back to how long into it, probably a few, like 3 to 4 weeks. I was like, no one's even. It was really discouraging.
And you were putting it out on social media.
I was, and I feel like a lot of people are guilty of this, to where you're like, well, why isn't it just falling into my lap? Why aren't people just coming to me? This is such a good idea, but it's slowly building, and I believed in myself more. Now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, screw it. I am going to keep doing this. And going back to my friend, she's like, and if it just sits there for a while, let it sit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Like if you, so many times, maybe you take a break from it for a while, or but I totally see it as like, I think when we're doing something that fills our own cup up, it almost doesn't matter what the rest of the world.
It doesn't.
That's when it gets really good.
And that's kind of where I get my payment out of it, because I took money that was mine and I put it towards a nice camera. Like it's not a tax write-off. Nothing I do is a tax write-off. I drive from Nampa to Boise to do these photo shoots. I edit on my own time. I buy my own Photoshop software. The way I get rich off of this is being able to do great things for other people in the name of my animals who gave me so much that I couldn't even think of how to pay them back. Like to be able to give someone that amount of love and that appreciation, and it's just that it literally overfills my cup.
So how long have you been volunteering at the animal shelter?
I've been volunteering for probably, I would say, close to 3 months now.
Okay.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. I enjoy going. I love going. I go multiple times a week. I go for 2 hours sometimes.
Knowing you and knowing how much you love animals, I'm surprised you don't bring a dog home every time you come. How do you do it?
So everyone always says that, but the animal really does choose you. So while there are so many good dogs there that I can't even begin to speak their praises, I don't know, Fog, the dog I brought home after Layla passed, I talked about this dog for weeks. I couldn't shut up about him. I would go home and I would tell TJ, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this dog there. He's such a good dog. I wish he would get adopted. And there's the ones that really pull the heartstrings, but those dogs are being taken care of so well. They get veterinary care, they get meals, they get blankets, and sure, they are locked up during the day, but there's so many other people like me who go and volunteer and give their time to take these dogs out and play with them and give them love. And the turnaround time usually for one of those dogs to be adopted is about, I think I was told, maybe 8 business days. So 2 weeks.
Wow. So they don't spend a lot of time in there.
They do not spend a lot of time there. There's a lot of people who come to the shelter who are looking for a pet that they do end up going to a good home. And of course, there are other dogs who are there for a while. There's a pair there, Lexi and Coda. They're 2 German Shepherds, one special needs. And they're rowdier, so it's going to take a much more informed owner to bring them home. They've been there for 4 months, which is heartbreaking. But you do not usually see that ever.
What about it? Is that center doing something right with like social media and like outreach or do all? Because I don't think the one here in Boise.
They have.
Do they get adopted out that fast?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
I mean,
wow.
I was looking at their stats that they posted on Instagram. They adopted out, I think in the past month, 64 dogs and 80 cats. I mean, animals have such a high tone that
they're
they
getting
have
homes for these pets.
They're getting homes for them. Yes, definitely.
So yeah, I've been up there. It's been years and used to go up there and see those pets, but I didn't know, going in every now and again without knowing the history and how long they've been there.
Yep.
You think, oh, these pets pretty much live here, but that's cool to see that the people are going and adopting.
And also I know with the Idaho Humane Society and the West Valley Humane Society, they don't have an expiration. These are non-kill shelters. They get to stay there as long as they need to, or they do end up transferring them to other local shelters to where they have a higher chance of being able to be adopted. So there was a pair of dogs that got transferred to McPaws because they weren't getting the attention that they needed here, and they had a better chance of being adopted somewhere else.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. So tell me about, I saw on your website, your first charity, the Bully Breed. Yes. How did you choose? There's probably a lot of charities.
There's a lot of charities. And, after I chose the Boise Bully Breed because I used to work with someone who volunteered, and I saw the labor of love that she puts into it. She lives and breathes it. And I trust her judgment.
Oh, so, she kind of helped you choose.
She didn't help me choose, but through her own actions and her own choices to be a part of this animal rescue, I do see that the animals are treated right. They do advocate for so many other shelters. They take bully breeds from other shelters who aren't getting the attention or, the publicity to be adopted.
Is it more difficult to adopt out a bully breed?
I think people definitely have a stigma about pit bulls or any type of bully breed. I used to before I even had a pit bull.
Yeah, we've all seen those news stories. I mean,
of course.
We know that the dog is
the likelihood of
usually,
them being able to attack and hurt someone is higher.
They're a more tough animal.
Yeah,
right?
well, they're designed. I mean, they're just a tough dog. But they're the sweetest animals. Yes, they're just the nicest dogs. I used to have a dog named Casper, and he was just literally the biggest baby ever, the whiniest baby. Would never hurt anyone or anything.
But he looked
tough. Yeah, he's a 90-pound dog.
Yeah.
But, I know that the Boise Bully Breed is doing great things. They're donation-based too. So that'll be my first charity. I'm only $50 in.
Right.
But my next one will definitely be the West Valley Humane Society.
Where you volunteer?
Where I'm volunteering now because it's awesome there. I love it there.
It's a great place.
It is a great place, and what they do for those dogs and how they adopt them out and how they make sure that they get the veterinary care that they do need before they are adopted out. They're good people.
Yeah, because sometimes those dogs, they've been somewhat neglected.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's dogs that come in from an owner surrender to where they have masses on them that need to be removed before they can even be adopted out. And it's mind-blowing to think that
to a good pet owner who
yes.
really cares and will like bends over backwards.
Oh
for
yeah,
their dogs.
I mean,
some of them
years
are like,
ago, I got a second job to pay for my dog surgery.
I remember that.
So not everyone has that same mindset, but dogs can be very expensive. So sometimes they can't take care of them, and they are, like you said, forced to bring them in. And sometimes that is the best thing that they can do because they can't give them the care that they want. And someone is going to be coming to the Humane Society with a big heart, wanting one of those dogs who's able to care for them the way they need to.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to me when I drive by and see, I see people who just keep their dogs in the backyard, totally neglect them all the time. I'm like...
no value of life.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's
just like their surroundings in there are not ideal.
No.
Just dirty. They never get petted, played with. It's like, oh my god.
Oh no, yeah. So there's a lot of people like that out there, but there's a lot of good people too. And I recognize that. I used to think more cynically that all people suck, but
right.
There's a lot of good people, and it's unfortunate that some of those dogs end up in the wrong hands, but there's a lot of good people out there who give their pets love.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we definitely have some great pet owners out in the world. Okay, so what do you see for the future?
I really hope that this grows to where I'm getting at least maybe one person a week. I know the weather is starting to change and the fall leaves are going away, but I really want to hit my $1,500 mark to be able to give to the Boise Bully breed in 6 months, and I know that's shooting far. And I think after I start opening up my portfolio more, like today, I'm going to be shooting with someone I don't know, and it's by word of mouth, and people.
And you're getting some traction from social media. I mean,
yes. Yeah, by doing a collaboration with my friend who does the pour over acrylics, that really helped. And I know people are going to see the value in it when they see other people doing it.
Right. It does. It builds. And then the other thing that I think is going to happen is that, word of mouth one person will tell 2 people or 8 people, then they'll tell people and it'll just, I foresee it becoming like a snowball thing. Cause do you know anyone doing this?
I don't, not for charity. No, definitely not. And a lot of people, the time that it takes to do these photo shoots, I see why it's so expensive, why people charge so much. But there's a lot of good people out there who can't afford that. Their money goes other places. They have children, they have pets, it's not reachable for them. So by me offering something, at first it was going to be just donation based, but that doesn't do very well.
Why did you kind of change that before you even rolled it out? Or?
I did change it after I rolled it out because, there's a lot of people who take advantage. And my goal is to raise money for local animal rescues. So, it was hard for me to be like, well, I will have to charge, and it's always awkward involving money with other things, but $50 is very, very fair for 30 minutes of my time.
It's a smoking deal.
Yes.
As you and I both know. It is. You can't, to get a photographer to come out, that's a smoking deal.
Yeah, it's very inexpensive compared to what other people charge. And I'm not trying to knock other people out of the game for photography. This is basically me saying, hey, my customer base or client base who I want to be coming to me are the people who can't necessarily afford those photos. Or, you have people my age, I have student loan debt, or if they're paying off other medical bills, they're not going to spend $300 to have a photo with their dog. They're just not. People don't even do that to have photos with their children because it's just, they can't do it.
Yeah, that it's a really nice luxury that some people can't afford. So when people have you come out and shoot, what can they expect for you to send them in the line of like how many photos and what type and stuff like that?
So I try and get as many good photos as possible. And since I am new, luckily Becky has taken me under her wing and she has helped me edit photos so I can get more out of the bunch. And I've had to Google a few posing and how to move people around because, I am not a professional photographer.
You're starting your photography.
I am just starting. So I'm just starting. I'm just learning. But I know I can get a pretty damn good picture of a dog.
Oh, totally. Well, it's all about what you love. You take pictures of dogs all day long and it's super awesome.
So it's easy. But it's very different now that I'm working with people. So when I come out there, It's difficult just because, I mean, today I don't know these people, but in the past, like with my friends, I'm like, it's hard to position them and then hard to get the dog positioned. And so I try and get as many quality images as possible. I think last time with my friends who came out, they probably had, 7 to 10 fully edited images emailed to them, which, let's get real, we don't put 50 photos on the wall.
No, that seems like an awesome amount. Now,
Yes.
What size can they make these photos?
Oh, they can make them anything. I emailed them the full file. So I edit them, I email them to them, I send them an invoice, and that's how we go.
And then they could go and print them at like Walgreens or wherever.
They can do whatever print they want, any style, any size. That's all up to them. I felt like doing prints was a little too much.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that's a whole different.
That's running to the store.
Yeah.
That's getting a frame. That's making sure that the prints were correct. It's just not something that I wanted to over bombard myself with and then end up getting tired and wearing myself out.
I can totally see that because you're already, like you said, you already got a time investment, again, labor of love, but still you're being smart about like stepping into this thing in the right way. Yeah. Well, I thought your website was really clear. It seemed like you anticipated questions that they might ask.
Yeah.
And while we're on that topic, what is your website? How can they find it?
My website,
and I'll also link
website.
it in the show notes, but just if you for people just listening.
Well, I know. Well, I should look at my card. So it's lrsquared.wixsite.com/lr². It could be found on my Instagram, which is lr², all spelled out.
So you got go ahead.
I was going to say, or my email address is just lr²@yahoo.com too.
Okay. And I will put all those in the show notes of this, this podcast here. But sometimes, just hearing you say, and you got cards too?
I do have cards. I feel so official.
That's so awesome.
And on the back, it says capturing your forever moments, but with FUR.
I like that you did that. So you've always called them you and Becky have called them forever moments?
No, they not since the beginning, but I thought it was catchy.
It is catchy.
It is cute.
It is cute.
It's a little corny, but I think it works.
It's totally awesome. So you have website and Instagram page.
I do have Instagram, and I feel like a lot of people are moving to Instagram. I'm not.
Well, it's a perfect platform
it is.
to showcase these pictures. The pictures of the dogs that you have up there are awesome.
And we all live through social media. That's
absolutely.
Some people don't even have a website. They just have Instagram.
Yeah. I mean,
so it works.
It does. And then, that like you said, you're doing a promotion with your friend on Instagram. Mm-hmm. People are on there all the time. It's a great way to
I'm addicted to it. I just scroll all day. I'm not proud of it, but there's a lot of people who are addicted. I'm not the only one.
And it's totally how you use it too, right? I mean, the way using it to grow your business in addition to fun and enjoyment is super awesome.
And who doesn't like a cute dog photo?
I was going to say all of your dog photos on there. I just I just see it like catching so much like snowballing down the road. They're all, and these are a lot of dogs from a lot of them are from the Humane Society.
I took pictures for my friend Tara and Taylor, Andrea and Steve, and also Becky and her family. Mm-hmm. So I haven't had a large clientele, but it's been good to get out there and start shooting different environments, different people, different dogs. So in the meantime, I have been going to the shelter to keep my skills up to par and taking pictures or headshots more so of them.
Yeah, they're kind of
they are just so cute. Yeah,
they are so cute. The way, and do you put things on them or?
The Humane Society usually has little bandanas for them. Yeah,
that they can put on them to like dud them up a little bit. Is that the thing?
Yeah. So dogs with bandanas are adorable.
So it's like
I'm a sucker for them.
Advertising and marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, Sabrina, I think, like I said, when I saw it, I was like, what in the world are you doing? This is so awesome. I'm so glad you joined me.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been up and down, and I'm definitely glad it's given me a bigger purpose. It makes me feel good to help others. It makes me feel good that I'm doing something other than self-serving myself.
Isn't that, well, that's how I think life is. It gets really good when we do something that gives back and makes the world a better place.
It does,
and then it's like we're all little dynamo machines that have that within us. That's why I think what you're doing is inspiring, sets an awesome example, does good in the world. It's creative.
I hope other people see the value in it too. And
I think they will.
They will. Once I start rolling and getting more pictures of different people, I know it'll take off. And if it doesn't, that's fine.
I just foresee it taking off. And do you put these pictures up on your website as well?
I just did my second blog. I've been mostly doing it for Instagram because the people that I do talk to on a daily basis, they use mainly Instagram. Not a lot of people go to websites anymore.
And that's sufficient. People go there and can see all of your work.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
And it's easy to just scroll through it, and it has it all laid out. The only thing that I will say is word of mouth really helps, just because the other clientele, the older generation who never had children and their pets are their children, or they're older and their kids are gone and they have their dog or their cat, and that's just their empty nester, their baby, those are the people that are harder to reach.
Yeah, so maybe not on Instagram.
They're not on Instagram. My neighbor, she loves her dog and she's not on the internet. So it's taken a lot to kind of, the cards are definitely a big thing for me.
Yeah, and like you said, once the word of mouth, I mean,
yes.
you're still kind of in the baby phase.
I'm very
here.
new.
I mean,
my baby idea is still very much a baby.
I mean, you still got to give it some love, because I think it's such a great idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Sabrina, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Hey, I want to thank you for tuning into this episode and listening to Sabrina share her story. And I hope that it inspires you as much as it inspired me to go out and do your own thing in the world and bring your idea, your labor of love into the world, introduce it to the world, and be that change that you want to see. I think that's what being a human being is really all about. So I want to thank Sabrina again for coming on the podcast, and definitely be sure to go check out her website. And if nothing else, definitely check out her Instagram page, because she's got a lot of great pictures of the dogs that she's taken so far. And I know that she's going to be filling that page in the coming weeks and months ahead. So thanks very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, all the best, health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.